Welcome back to Kringle's Christmas Stories, brought to you by Kringle's Christmas Shop, home of Comet's Choice premium reindeer food. Tonight, um, we bring you the story of Claus and Claus, a Christmas heist. Chapter 1. Trouble in Winterpine. Winterpine was, the quintessential Christmas town. Every lamppost was adorned with a festive garland, every rooftop twinkled with fairy lights, and the towering fir tree in the town square stood tall and proud, its stars shining brightly, like a beacon of holiday cheer. On Christmas Eve, the town was hushed in peaceful silence. But not everyone was sleeping peacefully, not far from the square. Hidden amongst the snowy bushes of Birchwood Park, two furry friends were on high alert. Gus, a scruffy golden retriever with snowflakes clinging to his fur, lifted his head, ears perked up, and his nose twitching in the frosty air. "Do you hear that?" he asked his companion. Next to him crouched Luna, a sleek black cat with piercing emerald eyes. She narrowed her eyes, her gaze focused on the distance. "I hear it, Gus," she replied in a low voice, "and it's definitely not sleigh bells." The mysterious sound grew louder, a deep rumbling growl that seemed to shake the frozen ground beneath their paws. The two animals pressed themselves low to the ground as a massive black snowplow emerged from the trees, its headlights cutting through the darkness like icy blades. The driver, concealed in a long heavy coat and a wide-brimmed hat, didn't slow down as they approached the park. Instead, the snowplow surged forward, heading straight for the heart of Winterpine's festive square. "What's that thing doing?" Gus asked, his fur bristling with a mixture of curiosity and concern. "Nothing good," Luna muttered, her voice laced with suspicion. She sprang to her paws, her movements agile and graceful. "We're going after it," she declared, her tone leaving no room for argument. Gus's tail wagged excitedly. "A Christmas adventure!" he exclaimed, unable to contain his enthusiasm. "Let's go!" "Quiet, you fool!" Luna hissed, her voice barely a whisper, but Gus was already bounding through the snow, his excitement getting the better of him. With a sigh, Luna followed her movements, as silent and swift as a shadow gliding across the frost-covered ground. Chapter 2. The Plow's Destruction. By the time Gus and Luna reached the town square, chaos had erupted. The snowplow's giant blade was tearing through the festive decorations, toppling candy canes and ripping down garlands with reckless abandon. The towering Christmas tree shuddered as a mechanical claw extended from the plow, snatching handfuls of precious ornaments and dumping them into a rusty sack attached to the back of the monstrous machine. The figure behind the wheel stepped out of the plow, their boots crunching on the fresh snow. They were tall and thin, their face hidden beneath the shadow of their wide-brimmed hat, adding to their air of mystery and menace. Without a word, the figure began dismantling the beloved nativity scene near the bakery, their actions sending a chill through the hearts of Gus and Luna. "Hey," Gus barked, stepping out from the shadows, his voice filled with indignation. "What do you think you're doing?" The shadowy figure turned, their glowing red eyes piercing the darkness from beneath the brim of their hat. "A dog challenging me," the figure spoke, their voice a gravelly rasp that dripped with mockery. "How quaint." Behind Gus, Luna crouched low to the ground, her sharp claws extended, ready to defend the spirit of Christmas. "What's quaint is your outdated villainy," she purred, her voice dangerously calm. "Drop the sack and leave the tree alone." The figure threw back their head and let out a chilling laugh that echoed through the silent square. "Foolish creatures," they sneered. "I am the toy breaker, and tonight Christmas dies." With a snap of their fingers, the toy breaker activated a hidden compartment on the underside of the plow. The metal doors hissed open, releasing a swarm of metallic spiders that skittered across the snow, their glowing eyes and clicking legs sending shivers down Gus's spine. "Luna, what do we do?" Gus whimpered, backing toward his feline friend, his bravery momentarily faltering in the face of this new threat. "Run!" Luna hissed, her eyes darting towards a nearby alleyway. "Now!" Gus didn't need to be told twice. He bolted after Luna, his legs pumping furiously as the mechanical spiders pursued them relentlessly. Behind them, the toy breaker continued their rampage, their dark laughter echoing through the once peaceful town square. Chapter 3. An Unlikely Alley. Seeking refuge from the mechanical spider swarm, Gus and Luna found themselves in a forgotten toy workshop on the outskirts of Winterpine. The building was old and weathered, its windows frosted over and its walls adorned with dusty wreaths that hinted at a time when the workshop was filled with the magic of Christmas. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of cedar and peppermint, remnants of Christmases past. "What's that guy's problem?" Gus panted, shaking the snow from his fur as he tried to catch his breath. "He's not just stealing decorations, Gus," Luna said, her voice grave as she paced back and forth, her mind racing. "He's stealing Christmas magic. That tree, especially the star on top, holds the town's spirit. Without it, there's no Christmas." Suddenly, a small quivering voice broke the silence. "You're right," the voice said. "And if he takes the star, it's all over." Gus and Luna whirled around, their eyes searching the shadowy corners of the workshop, From behind a pile of dusty wooden toys stepped a tiny figure, a chipmunk wearing a patchwork red scarf and a woolen hat that seemed far too big for his head. "Who are you?" Luna asked, her eyes narrowing as she assessed the newcomer. The chipmunk adjusted his oversized hat nervously. "Name's Milo," he squeaked. "I'm one of Santa's scouts. I was sent to keep watch over Winterpine, but I didn't expect the toy breaker to show up tonight." Gus tilted his head, his ears perked up in surprise. "Santa has scouts?" he asked, his tail wagging with renewed curiosity. "Focus, Gus." Luna snapped her tone, brooking no further distractions. "Milo, if the toy breaker gets the star, what happens?" she asked, her voice sharp with urgency. Milo wrung his tiny paws. "Christmas magic disappears from Winterpine," he explained, his voice filled with worry. "No joy, no hope, no holiday spirit. And worse," he added, his voice dropping to a whisper, "it'll give him the power to spread his misery to other towns." Gus growled low in his throat, his protective instincts kicking in. "We can't let that happen," he declared, his voice firm with resolve. Milo nodded vigorously, his oversized hat bobbing up and down. "The toy breaker's using machines powered by stolen magic," he explained. "The only way to stop him is to get that star back and destroy his plow." "Great plan," Luna said dryly, her tone laced with skepticism. "How do we do that?" "Together," Gus declared, puffing out his chest with newfound confidence. "Right team?" he asked, looking at his companions with a hopeful glint in his eye. Luna rolled her eyes, unable to completely suppress a small smile that played at the corners of her lips. "Fine," she conceded. "Let's save Christmas." Chapter 4. Battle in the Square. Under the cover of darkness, Gus, Luna, and Milo crept back towards the town square. The toy breaker's menacing plow loomed large near the Christmas tree, its engine rumbling softly, like a sleeping beast. Despite the destruction around it, the star atop the tree continued to shine brightly, a symbol of hope in the face of adversity. "Here's the plan," Milo whispered, his voice barely audible above the gentle rustling of the wind. "Gus, you distract the toy breaker. Luna, you climb the tree and grab the star. I'll take care of the plow." Gus grinned, his tail wagging excitedly. "You got it," he said, ready for action. Luna flicked her tail dismissively, but her eyes held a glimmer of respect for the brave dog. "Try not to get yourself killed," she cautioned, her tone betraying a hint of concern. The tiny chipmunk gave them a thumbs up, his face a mask of determination. "Let's do this," he squeaked, his voice barely a whisper. With a bark that echoed through the silent square, Gus charged forward, barking furiously. "Hey, Tin Man!" he shouted, hoping to draw the toy breaker's attention. "Over here!" The toy breaker whirled around, their red eyes glowing with anger as they spotted the troublesome dog. "You again!" they snarled, their voice dripping with annoyance. "How tiresome!" With a snap of their fingers, the toy breaker released the swarm of mechanical spiders once more. The metal creatures skittered across the snow, their clicking legs and glowing eyes creating a symphony of menacing sounds as they chased Gus through the square. While Gus bravely distracted the toy breaker and his mechanical minions, Luna darted toward the towering Christmas tree. Her sharp claws found purchase on the rough bark as she climbed swiftly and silently, her movements as graceful as a seasoned climber. Meanwhile, Milo scurried towards the toy breaker's plow, his small size allowing him to slip underneath the vehicle unnoticed. Once inside, he began his sabotage, his sharp teeth gnawing at wires and chewing through gears, disabling the machine piece by piece with surprising efficiency. High above the square, Luna reached the top of the Christmas tree. The star glowed warmly against her sleek black fur, its magic palpable. She carefully grasped the star, her heart racing as the tree swayed slightly beneath her weight. Suddenly, the toy breaker's voice sliced through the air. "Not so fast," they snarled, their voice full of malice. Luna looked down to see the toy breaker pointing a remote control at the tree, their finger hovering over a button that promised danger. Just as the toy breaker was about to press the button, Gus slammed into them, knocking the remote control from their grasp. The device skidded across the snow, coming to a stop right at Milo's feet. "Gotcha!" Milo squeaked triumphantly. He stomped on the remote control with all his might. The device shattered into 1,000 pieces, and the plow, deprived of its magical power source, let out a groan before collapsing in on itself, sparks flying from its damaged engine. Luna leapt from the tree, landing gracefully beside Gus with the star safely in her paws. "We've got it," she said, her voice filled with relief and triumph. The toy breaker stumbled backward, their head askew, their face contorted with rage and defeat. "This isn't over," they hissed, their voice barely a whisper. With a swirl of their long coat, they vanished into the shadows, leaving behind only a faint scent of burning metal and the echo of their chilling laughter. Wow, what a story.
Yeah. It really captures that classic Christmas spirit, doesn't it? That idea of a town coming together to overcome adversity and celebrate the magic of the season.
Absolutely. And Gus, Luna, and Milo. What a trio.
Yeah, they really embody that spirit of teamwork and courage, don't you think? Each one using their unique skills to contribute to the greater good.
For sure. It's like a reminder that even the smallest of us can make a big difference when we work together.
Exactly. And the toy breaker. He's a great foil to that, isn't he? Representing cynicism and greed, trying to extinguish the joy and generosity that Christmas represents.
That's a great point, that contrast. I think it really makes the story resonate. This battle between light and darkness, hope and despair, ultimately good triumphs, which is always a satisfying theme, especially during the holiday season.
Absolutely. And for you listening, what resonated with you most about the story? Was it the charming characters, the thrilling plot, or perhaps the underlying message about the true spirit of Christmas?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts too. You can always reach out to us on our social media channels. We love hearing from you.
And speaking of keeping the Christmas spirit alive, don't forget about our sponsor, Kringle's Christmas Shop. They've got everything you need to make your holidays merry and bright.
That's right. And while you're there, be sure to pick up some Comet's Choice premium reindeer food. The reindeer absolutely love it.
It's the perfect way to add a little magic to your Christmas Eve.
Thank you for tuning in to Kringle's Christmas Stories, brought to you by www.kringleschristmas.com. Have you got your Comet's Choice premium reindeer food? Get yours today at cometschoice.com.